I sent the exact same water sample for ICP-OES and ICP-MS analysis. Same water, same day. And some of the difference were absolutely shocking. Keep watching and you'll find out why. Hi everyone, Ross here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to compare ICP-OES and ICP-MS. And before anyone starts sharpening their pitchforks, this video is not about attacking any company or promoting another one. I won't be sharing WAP names because it isn't about brands, it's about the technology. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because many reefers choose ICP-OES simply because it's cheaper. And I completely understand that. But here is the thing, cheap information isn't necessarily good information. In fact, bad information can be much more expensive than no information at all. Because if your ICP tells you that an element is zero, your natural reaction is to dose it. But what happens if that element wasn't zero in the first place? You could easily end up overdosing trace elements without even realizing it. So I wanted to answer one simple question. Can we really trust ICP-OES for managing trace elements in reef aquariums? And after seeing the results, I think many of you are going to be very surprised. So, what is ICP? First, a very quick bit of theory. ICP stands for inductively coupled plasma. In simple terms, a tiny sample of your aquarium water is turned into a plasma at temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. This allows scientists to determine which elements are present and in what concentration. There are two technologies commonly used in our hobby, ICP-OES and ICP-MS, which actually stands for mass spectrometry. Both use plasma, but they detect elements differently. ICP-OES measures the light emitted by atoms. ICP-MS, on the other side, measures the actual mass of ions. And that's where the big difference lies, because ICP-MS is dramatically more sensitive. We are talking about detecting concentrations thousands of times lower than ICP-OES. And that makes a huge difference when we are dealing with trace elements that naturally exist in reef aquariums in incredibly low concentrations. Enough theory, let's go to the results. I sent two samples at the same time. Same water, same day. One for OES and one for MS analysis. I won't cover all elements, but only these with significant differences. Before we begin, however, I would like to mention that we've been using our old blend of trace elements for over 2 years now. We know precisely how much we add of each element on a daily basis. As a result, before sending the ICP, we already have pretty accurate expectation of what the readings would be. Starting with barium. Barium plays a vital role in coral skeletal development. ICP-MS showed 2.44 micrograms a liter. ICP-OES 0. My personal target is between 15 and 20 micrograms a liter. Honestly, this one isn't a big deal. If I had relied only on ICP-OES and dosed up to 15, I would have ended up with around 17.4, 17.5. Still inside my target range, no drama at all. Next one on the list is chromium. Chromium plays a vital role in coral metabolism. ICP-MS showed 0.31 and ICP-OES was 0. My target is between 0.3 and 0.5 micrograms a liter. Chromium is difficult for OES to measure at reef levels, and practical detection limits are often several micrograms per liter, which explains why many reef concentrations appear as 0. This is where things become a problem. If I had trusted the OES result, I would have dosed chromium to 0.5, but in reality I already had 0.31. That means I would have ended up with close to 0.8 micrograms a liter. Maybe that level isn't toxic, maybe it is, The truth is that we don't really know. And I personally don't like pushing unknown limits. Next one is cobalt. Cobalt is an essential trace element that acts as central atom for vitamin B12 production and many other metabolic processes. ICP-MS showed 0.24 and ICP-OES was at 0. My target is 0.1 to 0.2 micrograms a liter. Cobalt is very difficult for ICP-OES to detect at natural seawater concentrations. Typical OES sensitivity is nowhere near the low levels we keep our reef aquariums at. This one is actually a bigger issue. If I believe the OES result and dosed 0.2 micrograms a liter, I would have ended up at 0.44 micrograms a liter. This is significantly above natural seawater. Again, maybe no immediate disaster, but why taking unnecessary risks? Moving on to iron. Iron acts as micronutrient for photosynthesis. ICP-MS showed 1.73 and ICP-OES was at 0. My target is between 2 and 3 micrograms a liter. Iron drops out of solution incredibly fast. If I had trusted the OES result, I would have dosed iron to 3 micrograms a liter. In reality, my final concentration would have been around 4.73 micrograms a liter. Again, perhaps not catastrophic, but is this really the quality of information we are paying for and waiting a week to receive? Disappointing, isn't it? Next on the list is manganese. Manganese is a vital micronutrient that drives coral photosynthesis. ICP-MS showed 0.52, where ICP-OES was at 0. My target is between 0.5 and 1 microgram a liter. Manganese is extremely important for reef aquariums. And again, many OES systems struggle at these low concentrations. Had I trusted the OES result, I would have dosed up to 1 microgram a liter and ended up with roughly 1.52 micrograms a liter, which is probably acceptable. Now you should be seeing on the screen the results for selenium. Selenium is an essential trace element in reef aquariums that acts as a powerful antioxidant. ICP-MS showed 0.49 and ICP-OES was at 0. My target is between 0.3 and 0.5 micrograms a liter. Selenium is believed to play an important role in antioxidant defense and helps protect coral tissues from stress, especially in SPS systems under strong lighting. Values below 1 microgram a liter are extremely difficult for standard OES systems to measure accurately. If I had followed the OES result and dosed another 0.5 micrograms a liter, I would have ended up with 1, which is already significantly above natural sea water. Before we finish with the ICP analysis, I would like to also mention that there are elements that are either extremely difficult or practically impossible for ICP-OES to measure accurately at natural reef concentrations. Examples include uranium, cadmium, arsenic, lead, etc. Technically, some of these elements can be measured by ICP-OES under lab conditions, but not at the ultra-low concentrations found in reef aquariums. That's where ICP-MS has a massive advantage. So after seeing these results, my conclusion is pretty simple. For reef aquariums and trace element management, I personally consider ICP-OES to be a waste of money and time. But even worse than that, it can be dangerously misleading. A result of 0 does not necessarily mean 0. And acting on incorrect information can lead to overdosing and potentially long-term problems. My recommendation is simple. Just do an ICP-MS. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always guys, you are welcome. And a final tip. Initially send an ICP-MS maybe once a month. Learn how your system consumes trace elements. And once your aquarium becomes mature and stable, testing every 2 or 3 months is probably enough. Good information costs money, and bad information can cost your reef.